Righty, this is the shithole where all the magic happens. Been wanting to film a bit of a series on my own track life development, or whatever you want to call it. It's pretty carnage in here, but today I'm just doing some tyre swapping. I'm going from, well, this is a toasted old slick. I've got a new slick over there. It's not ready to go on yet because we've got a Bernard training day to come up, so I've just fitted that to the front and thought might as well film a bit of what I do just in my own time, nothing serious. So I'm going to replace this back tyre. I've had the tyre warmer over there, that's been on here for about 15-20 minutes. Probably not best for the heat cycles, but we're all learning, eh? So got to do what you got to do to get the tyre off as well. So dump the air out first, take the valve out, and start with some lube. I'm going to pop the bead first. There's obviously better ways of doing everything. Being the first video, I'm just going to send it, see what happens. Just at home frustrations normally with tyres, but this tyre machine has paid itself off really quickly. Just find sometimes getting it set in the right place is a bit of a hoodacky, like that. It's normally laziness because I didn't do that clipping properly, to be fair. To be fair to me little tyre changer, but these things with a stand is like 200 bucks on Trade Me if you're in New Zealand, and we're having a shit show so far. Yeah, 200 bucks costs you, you know, fucking, pardon me, 60 bucks or whatever it might cost you to get a tyre done at the shop. So it pays itself off really, really quickly to actually have one of your own, if you know how to use it, which I don't. Actually, everyone's been mint so far, apart from this bloody thing. Oh, I think I just had it in the wrong place before. Different size for the front tyre, obviously. No, hurry up. I don't know why I did this yesterday too. Just a cabbage, really. I think it's because I haven't actually buckled the wheel in, so it's lifting, and when it lifts it just doesn't like it. So it's going to do it again, probably, but there we go. So once you pop one, pretty much, this is nice and soft as well. If you do it on a cold tyre, it's a whole different story as well. Bear that in mind. That was just my own balls up. So yeah, dump all the air out first, get some lube on it. I used to change tyres years ago, not on motorbikes, on cars and trucks and things like that. Probably like borderline 15 years ago, just as part of my job at the time. So I got a vague understanding of what needs to happen for the tyre to come off. And it's not rocket science, it's just a little process. So beads all off. I've just had these wheels powder coated not too long ago as well, so I don't get overly happy when I scratch them up, but it's just going on this one. So that's my 2004 GSXR 600 that I picked up fairly cheap because I wanted to retire the shiny one over there, which is a 2018 S1000RR. But I was tracking that just as a hobby for about 2 years, that one, and then a previous S1000 for 4 years or so, just as a bit of a laugh, nothing serious. And then a couple of mates got into the track stuff a bit more with little cheap runarounds, track bikes. So I thought we'd finally jump on the bandwagon, and it's been the best thing I've done in such a long time. But I've wanted to sort of start this vlogging or whatever you want to call it, but recording my cock-ups more than anything, just for anyone that's bored and interested. There's a bit of a lack of what do you want to call it, just like track bike stuff in New Zealand specific. So there's plenty of videos out there of like track days, just, you know, on track GoPro footage and that, but a pretty massive lack when it comes to actually tuttering around with the, well, not that I've seen anyway, tuttering around in the shed and doing all sorts of random crap, trying to do it on a budget, without having to pay someone else to do absolutely everything like I used to do. So that's one side majestically pulled off. I like to do the second bit down on the ground. I just find it a little bit easier. Not sure why, but I seem to do a lot less scratching on the rim as well. So I'll just grab me little hoodacky. Try and be semi-organised, but I'm a bit of a shit show, so I get too distracted and do half a job and then I get distracted and I want to go do something else. But generally this seems to work anyway. There's plenty of lube on it, eh? So you definitely don't want to tear any of your tyres. This one's going in the bin, or well, added to my pile of I don't know where to put them. So that works for me. That tyre is fairly toast. She's already been flipped. Local track is Manfield, so we've got a bit on the outside. Probably could have ran it a bit longer, but I was starting to slip a bit in the rear as well. So there's 4 dots for your tyre tread. This one here being the 3/4 sort of mark, I guess. Bit of tread there where I flipped it, but on the other side she's completely smoothed out, so that can go into the tyre graveyard. We've got a brand new one there that's going on after this Brian Bernard day. But for now, yeah, we're just going to get this, make sure I've got the right side. Just going to get this treaded SCO on, which isn't that ideal. I've been told, I've got a Metzler K1 I think on the front, which I love. So apparently the Brian Bernard days here are awesome. However, don't get a whole bunch of time to get the tyre warmed up on tyre warmers and that. So me running slicks was not really going to be an option if that was the case. So this one I have to flip. So just disregard the tyre rotation. It's not too bad on track. And when you're on a budget, you gotta do what you gotta do. So she's right-handed track, so I dominate the right quite a bit. So that's left's fed out a little bit there, so we'll do it that way around. It's probably going to stick to me bloody carpet. So I've had that one on the warmer now for what, 10 minutes or so. So she's all fairly soft as well, so it will go on far easier than a cold tyre. Especially like an old Dunga set of wets. Trying to put those on when it's very tough and hard is just a nightmare, so you don't want to do that. Try and take a fair bit of care with these freshly painted wheels, but you're pretty limited as well with, you know, those. Saw those Rabicotta or whatever they're called tyre changes. They look bloody awesome, but they're a fair bit over $1,000 I think to have one of those. So again, old budget racing over here. We're not racing, just to clarify that, actually not this season. Considered doing a round of the Vic series, which is approaching the second round in a couple of weeks or so. I'm just not that into the racing stuff, so not competitive enough. I like having a laugh with the boys, and that's generally where it ends. Yeah, so a couple of boys have gotten right into it, and I'm real keen on supporting that. But the risk reward for me for racing isn't really there, but we'll consider doing a round, see how we go. If not, potential of entering 3 rounds of Vic series next season, as we're pretty fast approaching winter time, which sucks. Yeah, so you probably noticed we've got 2 track bikes. I've just bought that off a mate to help him basically progress into a more serious track bike. Here we go, put a leg up now. Getting serious here. So yeah, I've just bought that with the idea of having a bit of a winter project. We're smashing it up fairly quickly. It's had a big tidy up so far. Fairings are away getting tidied up by a good mate that's also jumped on the 600 wagon. yeah, so he's doing some, see you later, he's doing some tidying up on those, which is muchly appreciated, because I found out really quickly the other day that that's one of the few jobs that have just, I don't like doing it. I don't know how to do it, got no skills in painting or prep or anything like that. And I guess you're just like anything you learn, but I don't want to. I can't stand it. So there's some jobs as well you've got to not admit defeat as such, but just, you know, if it's not for you, it's not for you. I'll leave it up to someone else that's got a bit more passion in doing it. Otherwise, it just frustrates me, and lack of time on being able to do things with a pretty busy life is just annoying. So, just like this tyre actually, not going well. I think I'm just trying to take too many big bites at once, but we'll get there. The important part's keeping the bead off as well, the other side, so it sits down the other side of the bead. Yeah, just trying to take small bites so we don't destroy the bloody freshly, I say painted, they're powder coated anyway, freshly powder coated rims. So here we go, getting somewhere now. If you've got two people, that's primo. I've got 3 levers. The trouble with 3 levers is I've only got 2 hands. Apparently that doesn't work either. That's how she's done. 3rd lever. Yeah, so that's a tyre change anyway on a 180/60 rear. Put some tread back on, it should be good to go. Got to pop the bead back on. Here's that little lip I was talking about, so put some pressure in there now. Yeah, I just have to try and fast forward this bit. It's going to be pretty horrendous, but we'll leave that valve out just to do the dump air in a lot quicker. Alright, so we've got 24 psi in there. If you've got a bloody compressor, pump it up with a compressor. I don't. I've got one of these. This does me perfectly at the track. It's been bloody handy actually, this thing. So it saved my ass a lot. Very good little trick to have. Tool to have, should I say. Ignore the mess. It's a shit show. So that's that tyre all done. So we'll go ahead and fit the back tyre. We'll refit the front tyre wheel. I should have said wheel for both of them, shouldn't I? Disrespectful of tyres. Wipe down. Like the old simple green, eh? Doesn't seem to stain the tyres either, which is good. It's just a pretty friendly degreaser, but oh, a couple of scratchies, mate. Useless, absolutely useless. No, we do alright. Like, I mean, we're saving a shitload of money. Not having to take these into a tyre shop and have them fitted every bloody time. And you know, even for this, it's not well, that back one was toast, but I wasn't due tyres to be done. It was just because we're doing this Brian Bernard day that I need to I just prefer to have some tread. I don't need it, just prefer it. So it's all personal preference, on track. Some things make you go faster, some things make you slower. I try and do everything be as safe as I can on track. Like I said before, I'm no big boy racer. That's just how I am. Call me whatever you want to call me, but I just like the risk rewards is not there for doing too much craziness. Just like to go out and have fun. So anyone that needs their license for work realizes when they own a bike really quickly, like that one that's good for 160 odd in first gear. She's no good on the road, without doing dumb stuff. So the track bike stuff's just been an absolute blessing for me, being able to get out and fart around. So I love it. Anyway, this is a nightmare of a process, so we'll get some light up here. And it's not a nightmare of a process, it's just a bit of a pain, and I don't like the way the it's probably a heck load better. I don't like the way that the older GSXRs how the, what am I saying, mate? Concentrate. I don't like how the rear brake caliper sits. It doesn't have like it has a recess, but it doesn't it doesn't sit there, like it just falls out all the time, and it's a pain in the anus. And another thing I've noticed, which is a really easy mistake, is check your spacers. So I've had mates put wheels back together recently even, and quickly realised that it doesn't look right, and it's been the wheel spacers, tiny little things. But if you don't put them in, you can still get it on nice and comfortably, but it's not a good idea. So just, yeah, triple check everything. Everything's all greased up. I've done a fair bit of maintenance to this recently, so normally I'd have everything apart and you know, just go over everything, like re-grease your axle and everything else. I am absolutely no mechanic, just to clarify that. I actually couldn't stand it really until recent years. Yeah, this is definitely my least favourite job, is getting this freaking caliper to sit on. It's not even hard, it's just I can't stand it as a job. Match everything up perfectly. Find if I get it just sat on the rotor first, and then slide everything in. Oh, haircut, we've already lost one, what do you call it, spacer. So that's what I always struggle with. They just pop out every time I fart around. Something falls out of one end. See that one there's already knocking. I don't know if you can see that well on this camera, but it's a bit of a tight fit, so getting it all in without it falling out is just a bit of a pain in my butt, but we'll figure it out. So I drive things for a living, I don't fix things for a living, but this has become a hobby where I've had to fix things for a living. Holy hecker. I don't know how much we can see on video here, but I'll just tell you it's not going well instead of being able to witness it. I think it's probably a better idea. Makes me feel better. So having something to sit underneath, like if you've got a what do you call it? Oh, I hate this job. Yeah, I hate this job. Crowbar is what I was thinking of. If you've got a crowbar or something, you can just pry the bottom of the tyre up just to take a bit of weight off. Just relaxes everything a bit. Right, might do some fast forwarding here while I get angry with it. And see, my problem now is my brake pads have popped inwards, which is one of the little finicky things that I was talking about before, with just everything moving when you try and put it all back together, because this doesn't have a recess. It's got a recess here, but it doesn't stay there, it just falls out every time. So I think a cable tie, actually, I wonder if the cable tie up there would probably help me a shitload. We don't want to do that, I want to make it hard. Right, still got the axle. There's a little metal tab there that just gets me every time too. Again, 2 people would be absolutely just amazing for this, but we don't have that. It's also a weekday, so everyone's at work doing normal people things. So if we can get that just sat in the wheel like so. I think we lost our space. No, we didn't lose our spacer. Amazing. Right, chain back on. We've had this all apart the other day as well. Done a bit of sprocket work on the front. Just cleaning on this one. Take the weight off a bit. Slide her in. Make sure that's all facing the right way. When I bought this bike, actually everything was facing the wrong way here. Like these little bits with this, what do you call it? Just a little bit that pops out here. It was just spun the wrong way, which isn't the end of the world because it was still contacting the little chain adjuster there. But it's not supposed to be that way, it's supposed to be that way. So just having everything sitting in the right way, especially when you do a bit of a last minute tyre change or something at the track, you're better off skipping a session and and rushing. Not that we always do that, but you're far better off skipping a session and just having it all put back together properly, than to rush and, you know, get everything back on, but just do it half-assed. So that, for some reason the camera turned off, but yeah, anyway, where we're at, just getting some tension up in this. I'll torque it up later. I like to torque everything up, it just makes me feel better. Seems to make everything work, especially when you're like the front axle and all that sort of thing. Everything works so much better, I find, when we just torque it up rather than just tightening it to your all comfy. For me, I like to pop a rag in there. This is only something I learnt recently, actually. It was actually to do it with a screwdriver, but I don't like the screwdriver going in against the teeth on the sprocket. So a rag does exactly the same thing, just way more protection on there. Eh? Pulls everything nice and tight, just pulls the axle and the axle spacers, or whatever these things are called, pulls them up nice and tight to those adjusters. Otherwise you just crank it all back on and it seems to you just can't get your chain tension right. So we'll get this into a happy place and then we'll go ahead and torque it later on. I'll go through and torque everything, but we'll get that there for now. It's fairly tight. Take that off, and then the chain should sit back in its normal place, which it does. We've got a circlip that can go on later on with the when it gets torqued up. Yeah, things are pretty happy there. So I might as well go ahead and put this front wheel back together now. Righty, so just done a camera swap. The other one went flat, so we'll hook it on the GoPro, get this back together, and finish the first video. So exciting! Alright. Front tyre's far easier to put on than the back, normally. Not this time apparently. Everything just lines up far easier. There's less moving parts anyway when you're initially putting it in. It's something pinched, I think. Right. Alright. There's a fair few moving parts here as well, but it's far easier to get into place than the other stuff. So first of all, axle. So we've got the other side pinch bolts I can leave in with the little captive spacer that goes on the other side. Forgive me for all the names, still just making them up as I go along. Get this nice and tight. We'll check our what do you call it? Torque settings, and then we can go ahead and torque everything while we're here now. So pinch bolts on this side nice and loose while we torque it. Front wheel axle 72.5 pounds, so we can do that pretty easy. Set this to 72.5. Oh. I don't know what I've done there. A bit of a balls. Oh, I think I'm tightening it with my glove. That's what I was doing. Catching the bloody. Anyway. 70 there. 1, 2.5. Seems like around 72.5, but tighten that. Righty tighty, lefty loosey, righty tighty. So just make sure everything's set in the right place. Pinch bolts on the other side are already torqued. Happy days. Double check. That's good to go. We just need to find a 10mm with adapter. carnage toolbox here. It's a 10mm. So pinch bolts go to 16.5 foot-pounds. So I'll drop this one back down, right back down. Pinch bolts are important. Don't let a specific bike shop tell you that they're not. Had tyres done on the BMW a year or so ago, and they hadn't done up pinch bolts. I checked the bike over when I got it, as you would. Went out for a sort of two hour long ride, pulled over an hour into it, and I can't multitask, so we'll go to 16 and what have we done here? 15, 16.5. So had the checked the pinch bolts, and everything else was just basically realistically I was just checking the tyre wear on my fresh new tyres. Had a bit of a lookout. We were stocked with a bunch of mates, and found that the pinch bolts on the right hand side were completely, one was missing, the other one was about to fall out. I mean, I'm talking half a turn to 3/4 of a turn from falling out. So called up the bike shop, wasn't very happy, politely asked them to do something about it, and we got something done in the end. I won't name the bike shop, I know who they are. They weren't too fussed about the problem either, so I was quite unimpressed that they thought it wasn't that big a deal. Limp it into town, which was about 40-ish k's away, I'd say. At the time, they said limp it into town and we'll sort it out. I said no, someone needs to come out with pinch bolts or we'll pick the bike up. And anyway, we got it done. Thanks to them for actually doing it, but that wasn't really a big oops, we screwed up. It was kind of none of that. I haven't bloody tightened it. I'm a noob. I am a noob. That's something you've got to take into account while I am doing these videos, is I am actually a noob. So, but we're doing it all ourselves. So that's tight. That's tight. It'll click in very nicely actually. I don't like the way that clicks. Something's not right with that. That goes off. Something's this what do you call it? Hoodaki. Torque wrench just didn't click into place properly then, so I'll make sure we're doing them up all nice and evenly as well. But that didn't sound right, so I don't like that. So we'll reset it. 16.5 foot-pounds. What's down there? Yeah, I don't like the sound of that. Isn't very promising. Alright, see what this does. Let's check the other side. I'm only getting a small click out of that. That's given me the confidence that they are actually it is working when it's recognising the torque setting. So I don't really like to go more than one, probably to be honest half a turn in each one, just to make sure they're all nicely spaced out. Just finger tight at first, that's one. So quite a while off from being even there, to be fair. Clicked, so double check, click, click, good to go. Back to that, pinch bolts weren't in, they came out, sorted the bike out, brought some spares, ordered me some new ones. They were slightly different, they got them off a KDM apparently. Yeah, wasn't very impressed with it. Oh, they should pop right on. I did have that balls up earlier on, I wasn't paying attention, and I squeezed the brake lever while I had this all apart. So it's got one little press with this little cheap Chinese pad pusher thing that I bought a while back. It's been really handy actually. Stops you damaging the pads and that when you're actually doing it. Using a screwdriver or whatever you might be doing. So let's get these depressed. I would say ideally you want that reservoir cap off when you're doing that, but we're only pushing out just a smidge. Hopefully I can get these on. Nice and loose. Yeah, plenty of room there. So these have all been greased up recently as well, just a bit of copper grease. I don't know if you're meant to use that or what, but it works. So I've done a lot of work to brakes recently. This bike started with a stock, what are they, a Niffin brake master cylinder, which was just terrible. I was chasing it all the time, constantly bleeding and working it out. So we splashed out, went to a Brembo RCS 19 quarter Corsa, and it's been amazing. Before we did that though, I tidied everything up. We went and fresh pads, fresh fluid throughout after we did a caliper kit, seal kit. So I reset all those. We'll just leave those nice and loose for now. So the caliper seal kit and yeah, fresh fluid right through, new pads, and then we went with red Howell braided lines from a local dealer. And what did we do after that? Then we did the master cylinder as a last option, basically, to make sure we're all good there. And it's been amazing. But everything's I on this bike. Again, learning curves. I pinched a seal when I put them back together. One must have gone in too dry. So yeah, I pinched a caliper seal on one side. Just one out of 8 that I did. 8 pistons. So I think there's, if I've got that right, 8 pistons, there's 16 seals all up, plus the ones that hold the 2-piece caliper together. So I pinched one of them, and I was chasing it for a while trying to work out what I did, and then I eventually realised that it was just a pinched seal, and we got it all back. So 28 foot-pounds for these brakes or calipers. I'm just going off what Google's told me as well, so I'm sure close enough's better than shithouse. Yeah, so 28 foot-pounds for the front calipers. Crank that up. Something wasn't quite set right in there. I'm happy with that. 20. So 25, 6, 7, 8. That up. So a bit of a process we should do. This is all to the best of my knowledge, right? So is just tighten them up, give the wheels a bit of a spin. Everything's still nice and loose at this stage. So even just on that last one, just grab the brake and hold it, and just go ahead and tighten them up evenly where they're at, and that should set the, to my knowledge anyway, should set the calipers in the right spot, and they should be nice and even. Should allow your brake pads to sit on the rotor in the best place possible anyway. So those are hand tight, still got a hold of that lever. Now we will go and torque those up. Try and do it all as evenly as possible, eh? It seems to help. So on this one we'll actually try and get a click out of it. 1. And I'm still holding that brake lever as well. It's 2. Other side, still holding the brake lever. And I guess if you can be bothered, leave some notes in the comments as well on what you would do differently. It's always handy. I can pick and choose whether I want to listen to it or whether I think it's appalling. But Good thing with the track stuff, everyone's in it together. Doesn't seem to matter how much you've got in common, you've always got the bike stuff in common with people at the track, so it's extremely helpful. Makes everything work a lot better. Alright, always back that off too, once you're done with your torque wrench. Go back into case shortly. So now we should have a fairly decent amount of free play. It's all good, brakes work, nice and tight. Should be good to go. Put all my bits back together. Oh, we need to do the back. So we'll check out rear axle. Might as well do that now. Rear axle 70 to 75. I think we found. I don't keep saying we. I found that the rear was about 73. Was where the pre-drilled holes were. So in between what it told me that I should be on. Carnage today. So if I set that to 72, and then I can just follow along. I've got pre-drilled holes on there from the previous owner, so I'd imagine he set that to about 73 bullets, judging by when I tighten it up. So crank that right up. She maxes out at 80. So we've got 70. That's 70. We go to 72, and then I can turn it accordingly. So that's all nice and tight anyway. So that's 72. So we're about a mil out, which is awesome. And then we have just a little split pin that will push right through, and that's mint. And then I'll go ahead and lock wire that afterwards, but she's all mint. So yeah, we've just fitted a SCO rear tyre, and then fitted a Metzler K1 to the front. Everything's all set, so I've just got to go ahead and lock wire it after this. I'm not doing that on camera, especially for a first video, so she's all nice and tight now. She's fairly tidy, this, for a 20-year-old bike. It's been absolutely amazing so far. Done a fair bit of tidying up. We lost one of the black caps here on that engine cover, or frame slider, or whatever it is. So I lost the black cap, and it was just doing my head and being all silver and machine finish. So went with a friendly little dinosaur from my 3-year-old's toy box. Yeah, but wheels have been powder coated recently, paint's all been tidied up, new race numbers, and we don't need them, they just look pretty. It's my favourite number for some reason. So here's the new quarter Corsa, it's nice and tight. Everything else is all, we're lock wired everything else we need to, even the GoPro mount on the dash is all locked up. I've put new clip-ons on recently, which has been good, having a 1-inch rise and just a bit more movement. Exhaust recently had a makeover. It was a big old school early 2000s exhaust, so we've cut that in half. Shout out to our mate Carl that's done that. And fresh oil went in yesterday, we did that. So we've got just a little bit shy of where I needed to be. Got a whole bunch of oil for the big boy, but I ran out. I'm about 200 mils short, so we'll go and sort that out today, and should be good to go. So this is where the vlogging sort of stuff came into mind, was actually with this bike that I've just bought a couple of weeks ago. So a whole bunch of stuff that needed doing on that. We've ticked through a lot of it actually. There's a bunch more that needs to go on there as well. So this one's an 07 GSXR 600. Fairings were just destroyed. Like, I mean, there's a big crack here. It's kind of like that the whole lot. So that's all coming off. I won't reveal what colour this is all going yet, but it's going to look pretty good when it's all done. So this was the original colour. fairly tidy tank. The rest of it's tidy, it just needed a clear up. It's been in the dirt at some stage. There was a bunch of dirt, I don't know if you can see, there's still bits in there, but we've been in with a toothbrush and done as much as I can. Yeah, headers all came up pretty clean. I've just gone through the chassis, and the motor's been tidied up. Yeah, this one's got a quick shifter that was put on it about a month ago. Olin's rear shock. Yeah, power commander. Running 1545, I think, rear sprocket setup, and this one we're running a 1545 as well, pretty sure. 1549 I think we're running on this one. So cool to compare the difference. Not sure what the end goal is with this, other than just getting it tidy and really presentable as a track bike, which is going to be cool. So I think I'll record a fair bit of the build on this. I wish I'd started where it was at, but at least we'll see it from here. I can always upload photos of where it was beforehand. She was pretty grubby, so yeah, a lot of work to do there. Anyway, this one for now is all done. I'm ready to rip on this Brian Bernard training day, which I'm super excited for. Yeah, bloody good. Right, catch you, bye.